Water slides are scarier than you think. Some of the world's most dangerous water slides are super long and scary, like this one. And also this one. Today we're looking at the top 10 longest water slides in the world. Subscribe if you like going down water slides. Number 10, Point Plummet, Cedar Point Shores, Ohio. Anybody that walks into Cedar Point Shores and considers themselves a thrill seeker will search out the most intense slides, and Point Plummet will be at the top of their list. This slide features a freewheel where riders are dropped straight down an enclosed tunnel. The slide then takes them on a journey through twists and turns before shooting them into the splashdown at the bottom. Riders first climb into a capsule at the top of the tower. The countdown commences. 3, 2, 1. Before they can even think to what happens next, the floor underneath riders' feet drops out from under them, sending them on a near vertical drop into the slide. At about 6 stories high, this ride is for the daringest thrill seekers around. And a suggestion for those that are squeamish or faint of heart, don't look down. Those devilish folks over at Cedar Point installed a clear floor inside the tube, so it looks like you're about to be dropped straight down 6 stories. I'm not gonna lie, kinda scary. Point Plummet is a twisted web of 4 drop slides. Riders can actually choose their experience in the form of green, purple, blue, or yellow. All 4 slides do the same thing. Point Plummet was a great addition to Cedar Point's Shore Waterpark. It gave the park another modern slide the park had been missing. Riders must be 48 inches tall to ride Point Plummet. This is definitely one of the craziest water slides we have ever seen. Number 9, Vanish Point. The first thing you hear on Vanish Point is a heartbeat, but it's not your own. As you step into Adventure Island's crazy water slide attraction, the mood is set by a soundtrack of a heartbeat. It's fake, but it does the trick of increasing anxiety as you wait for the countdown before the floor loudly collapses underneath you. This slide is inspired by the point on a wave where gravity and water combine perfectly. The crest of this 70-foot tower houses 2 425-foot wave paths. Guests can step into one of the 2 skyboxes as they face their fears and the floor is dropped from beneath them. Guests also have the option of getting horizontal on a 455-foot long slide that ends with a high-speed finish. These unique ride paths give guests options on how they want their thrills delivered, said Stuart Clark, president of Busch Gardens Tampa Bay and Adventure Island. Whether you choose to have the floor drop from beneath your feet or race to the bottom on a loop slide, the only way down once you get to the top is a wild ride that gets your heart pumping. They do a countdown and the rush came to me. Montez, who works for Busch Gardens, said afterward, "I was free falling straight down and you don't know where you're going and where you're gonna land. I was ready to scream, but then I wanted to make sure where I was going first." Definitely one of the most insane water slides of all time. Number 8, Wildebeest. Wildebeest is 1/3 of a mile long and it thrills riders for 2.5 soaking minutes of hills, drops, twists, and turns. And for the last 9 years, the readers of Amusement Today magazine voted it the #1 water park ride on the planet. Wildebeest begins with a conveyor ride up the water coaster's lift hill. Following the 4-story drop at a 45-degree angle, linear induction motors propels the 4-person boats up 7 hills through 2 underground tunnels and around a helix. Wildebeest covers more than 2 acres. Its top speed is 24 miles per hour. Wildebeest's tallest elevation is 64 feet higher than its lowest drop. The conveyor-style lift hill replaces any slide tower stairs, making the water coaster accessible to riders who might actually have difficulty walking upstairs. It flies through the entire course at a very quick speed, sending riders down airtime inducting drops and back uphill at speeds that would match a real roller coaster, hence the name water coaster. Number 7, Double XL Monster Ride. At 270 meters, the new Double XL Monster Ride is the longest indoor water slide in Austria. Not to worry though, you don't have to trek up all those flights of stairs. There's a lift for that. From the top of a high tower, 2 to 3 people take a thrilling ride down to the bottom. While the ride does not feature many high drops, it does reach super fast speeds, whipping the rider around the tube and leaving them in for a thrill. Either way, this ride is definitely for thrill seekers and does require some water slide experience as it does reach high speeds. And it's a very long ride. Number 6, Twister and Speedy. If you suffer from dizziness, the Twister and Speedy water slide is one you should definitely stay clear of. It's actually located at a thermal spa in Austria. Both slides twist around and around the wash platform to leave riders in a spin by the time they get to the bottom. Speedy, the red slide, is the quicker of the two, but Twister, the yellow slide, is one of the longest slides in Europe at over 660 feet in length. Speedy starts at 75 feet in the air and travels around 460 feet of tubing. Not only do slides leave riders dizzy by wrapping around the building, but they have clear material on the top of the tube so that riders can see out and over the land that they are cruising through. It must be so terrifying looking out the side of the water slide as you are reaching high speeds. Number 5, Black Anaconda. Water slide meets roller coaster on this 6-humped uphill ride in Wisconsin. Jet technology sends you slithering up and down a snake-like body, which makes up one of the longest water coasters in the world. You drop straight down at 30 miles an hour. And while the mesh ceilings are there to protect you, their existence also tells you how bumpy the ride can get. This ride is for 2 or 3 riders. The float requires a minimum of 200 pounds and a maximum of 600 pounds. Riders must be at least 4 feet tall to ride this ride. You'll climb all the way to the top to get started, and the first drop is a doozy, taking you all the way back down to ground level. There are a number of conveyor belts that you barely notice that help propel the riders up different hills. You'll get wet at every twist and turn with tons of waterfalls and sprays. When you're flying past at 30 miles an hour, it can sometimes sting a bit as well. Black Anaconda is one of just 3 slides in the whole country, making it not only terrifying, but also unique to its kind. It's a totally heart-pounding, pulse-racing water coaster that goes on for more than a quarter of a mile. It's a long, amazing ride, and you'll want to go on it again and again. Number 4, Mammoth at Splashin Safari. The Mammoth is the original mega raft water slide, delivering fun for groups and high capacity for parks. Rafts surge through the winding Mammoth channel, shooting through a breathtaking series of back-to-back curves, drops, and vortex loops for the experience of a lifetime. The Mammoth is designed like a roller coaster, but instead of the traditional cart and wheels on a metal track, the vessel is a boat, and on the track is a water-filled giant slide. Taking the title of the longest water slide in the world, the Mammoth stretches more than half a kilometer and over 2 acres. Avid riders face a series of 6 drops from a starting height of 21 meters, which is about 7 stories. And the best part? Yup, you guessed it, there's a conveyor belt to haul you up to the top so you don't have to climb a single step, just like the other slides on this list. We added Wildebeest water coaster last year, and it was a runaway hit, Park President Dan Kosh said. So we asked our designers for something even bigger. It's so huge we're calling it Mammoth. Now you're probably asking, what powers these 6 passenger boats up the hills? Well, it's called linear induction motor technology, and there's a total of 6 that magically propel their boats on their way through this 3/4 of a mile water coaster. It's crazy to think that coaster technology has advanced this much. And to add to this, you get airtime on the slide. It's pretty insane. Number 3, Breakers Plunge. Located in Valley Fair's Soak City Waterpark, Breakers Plunge is definitely one of the most intense water slides to exist. The ride, which features 2 high-speed slides situated on top of a 90-foot tall platform in which riders free fall to the bottom. These slides are 2 of the largest side-by-side slides in the world, and guests have the option to race their friends to the bottom. With a nearly vertical drop and a height of 90 feet tall, this slide is definitely one of the most thrilling, and it's definitely not for the faint of heart. Number 2, Action Park. Unless you grew up in northern New Jersey in the 1980s, you probably heard about Action Park through the internet. From 1978 to 1996, Action Park was opened in Vernon, New Jersey and featured one of America's first dedicated water parks. However, this park is also known for injuring and even taking the lives of several people before eventually getting shut down. In 1998, the park was bought out by a different company and reopened as Mountain Creek Water Park. But after the 2013 internet documentary went viral, the owners decided to revert back to the more famous name, Action Park. So what better than to bring back the world's most insane water slide? Well, unfortunately, this slide is not open to the public as it definitely had its repercussions in the past. The slide itself is made up of 20 100-foot sections of inflatable material. It takes 2 generators to power the 15 engines that keep the slide inflated and 400 stakes to hold down the slide, while 1,000 gallons of water per hour run down the length of it. All in all, it includes 10,000 feet of slide. Wow. An official opening date for the new ride hasn't been determined yet, as it still needs to be approved by the state's Department of Community Affairs. But it doesn't seem like it's gonna open anytime soon, as it has been built and tested on for a long time now. But who knows, maybe they'll reopen the park and this insane water slide will be available again. Number 1, Escape Theme Park. The longest water slide in the world is set to open in August this year at a theme park in Malaysia. Beating all of the previous water slide world records, this water slide is going to set world records as the longest. Coming in at 3,740 feet, which is 1,140 meters, it will beat the current Guinness World Record by almost 2,000 feet. This slide, which is yet to be named, will feature a grand opening at Escape Waterpark in Malaysia. Guests will take a whopping 4 minutes to get from the top to the bottom. They will slide down the ride from 229 feet in the air through trees and the forest before landing in a large swimming pool at the end. The CEO of Escape Theme Park said he didn't intend to break the world record, but was proud of it anyways. I mean, what can I say? I would be proud as well. The slide is being built from a fiber-reinforced polymer, meant to stand in the jungle for years to come. What's especially impressive about the slide's construction is that it's all being built without heavy machinery, which is part of the park's commitment to preserving the natural environment. So we'll have to see how it all turns out, but this could be a world record water slide 100%. Check out top 5 dangerous water slides banned forever by clicking on screen. Thank you.